Hello,
Hi,
hi.
Christine. How are you?
Uh-huh. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You're right. It's lovely blue background that you have there.
Yeah, yeah. This is, yeah. I'm in Are you in Vienna or in?
Yes, I'm in
Yeah,
Vienna.
me too. But we have a small uh, house in the I at the outside. It's not outside of Vienna. It's in Vienna, but at
Yeah.
the Badeteich for swimming.
Ah,
Yeah,
oh,
it's called
okay.
Hammer House. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
everything is blue or yeah.
Okay. Well, I like it. I also like the sky blue. So
Mhm.
that's my preferred
Yeah,
color for the sky.
good. Yeah,
It's lovely paintings as well. No, your choice of background is very good.
I had not many choice because it's yeah. That's, thanks. Yeah, my wife painted the
Oh,
painting.
really? Is she an artist?
Yes, she's painter and writer, poems and yeah,
Oh, amazing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So both artists in the family.
Yes. So crazy couple. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you both temperamental?
Yes.
Oh,
I
okay.
yeah yeah yeah.
You don't hesitate before you said that. You just said it. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I just was wondering who is more, but you cannot say
Oh, okay.
one day like yeah,
Um, okay, so I want to talk to you about the Sasso festival
yeah. Mhm.
that you're involved in. Can you give me some information about that?
The Sasso Festival is a very special festival together with because the core of it is the master classes. And normally master classes, they are for specific instruments, for violin, for piano, or singing, as we have, and also for conducting. But most of the master classes which exist, they are more separated in their masterclass bubble. But we want to mix it. That means when the conductors come, then they get contact also to the singers and to opera pieces and pieces with singers, so that it is not just the conducting and conducting symphonies, but working with singers, and that is most of the times the next level for conductors, because singers, this is the most natural thing, but the most not to control thing for a
Oh,
conductor, because that the voice needs always what it needs. It is a very natural, organic thing, and you cannot press it in an idea or in a dictatorship. So if the voice needs a specific tempo, then you have to get to give this special voice this tempo, and maybe another voice, another tempo for the same piece, and it's still two times the right tempo. And that is, and on the other side, for the singers to have the contact also to conducting teachers and to the young conductors, to see what is needed to work together for yeah, what is needed from the side, from the singers. How can they cooperate? And this fusion is the very special thing of the Sasso Festival, because it's no other festival like this, in no other masterclass mix like this.
so what you, if I understand right, is, so for example, if it's an opera and there are two singers, so you have to, as a conductor, adapt to the voices of the two different singers within one opera.
In a way, yeah. What I meant with the two singers, I meant the same aria with two different singers. Yeah. But together, yes. I mean, sometimes it's not so difficult to find the tempo. But I saw it because I have, for example, very precise ideas how fast aria from Magic Flute should be. But I had different paminas, and I did with different paminas different tempi, because I saw this voice blooms with this tempo and the other voice blooms with another tempo. So you cannot press it because we are human beings and the voice is our instrument, which we all have. Every human being has a voice, and you cannot say treat a voice like a computer. And even computers don't do what we want sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
But now from the singer's point of view, do you think it's very important also that singers communicate this to the conductor? Or
Yes,
is it not in the...
And also to not to be shy, to be, because sometimes when we cannot work together in music, but I think when I say music, it is also in the world.
Yeah.
That most of the times is in my experience is fear that we lose our face, that we lose our reputation, that somebody says, you're not so good. So that we learn that this is very natural to find a solution in music. And that is, I think, a perfect platform to find that in an atmosphere of, I don't know, just 5 minutes away from the sea in Split.
Yeah.
And in friendship to work out the most beautiful arias and the most beautiful symphonies in an atmosphere of where everything is allowed and every question is allowed and nobody is stupid when you ask something which maybe nobody asked before.
So is there in that sense that if you talk about that, is there in the music, so for example, so in an orchestra and with the singers, is there this fear, like you say, that they think it's not their place to communicate this, that they just go with whatever happens? Is this sort of how it functions in the opera world?
It can be, because most of the times this word "time is money" rules, especially before Corona. Now maybe there is a different after this timeout, that everybody came more to her or himself. But normally there is the rehearsal time is limited, and if there is limited time, that can, then fear can make it more difficult to come to a solution where everybody is happy. And then maybe somebody is not nice to another person, maybe the singer to the conductor or the conductor to the singer, just because of nobody wants to look stupid in front of the orchestra, for example, or in front of the choir, or in front of the other singers. And so this, but more, it is, I think 99% in my experience, it's fear that not to look stupid myself, and that is the
And you mentioned they're young conductors. Do you think this is a great masterclass for conductors, like you say, young conductors who now have to build experience, that they from a young age learn about this or have this experience?
Yes, but it's not about age. So every age, for a conductor, I mean, also for every topic, but especially for conductors, it's you never how do you say, you never stop being a student, because there is so many things to all your life. If you want to go the way to work as a conductor, then the studying never ends, because nobody studied all the famous scores. There are so many Mozart operas, only Mozart operas 22, Verdi operas, Puccini, Wagner, but there are just few of them, of the composers. So there, I think there, I heard once there are 100,000 operas.
Wow.
So at least. So but every year new operas come. Composers write something. So that nobody studied all. Yeah. Nobody knows everything. So that is an always learning thing. And this is what I want to give the next generation, that your mind has to be open as you are a student. Because as a student, I see my students in Vienna, they really want to take everything they can get. And that is very important to keep all conductors' life. If you give this up, then you go down in the quality. You have to have that even if you're 80 and 85. You have to be a student and develop a new view on a different piece, for example. Be open for everything.
Well, this is wonderful advice also, but I think that counts for everybody in life. I think if everybody has that attitude,
in a way, everybody, but for conductors, it's the most difficult, because singers, for example, or orchestra musicians, they always will be criticized, for example, by conductors, but nobody criticizes the conductor normally, only in the back.
Oh, okay.
And that is the thing. And singers, because they are very sensitive. The singers are very vulnerable, because when they are on stage and they have to act as well, they really depend on everybody who can help them. Souffleur, conductor, others who say, come here, go now. So they need the support of a team. And also all good singers have their coaches, who, even if they are very famous, they have their coaches. And sometimes I realized conductors don't have it. Not so many have a coach who says, oh, this was not so good, or be careful. And that is a thing which I saw, because I'm also a cellist, and so I know both sides. And I saw conductors losing that inside need developing new dimensions in their life as a musician, life as in a way as scientist. There are many different ways. There are I once, for my students, I gave them the idea of the archetypes, the different archetypes of a conductor, which is, for example, the scientist who tries to find out the history, the new development, how to bring that on stage, and like a musicologist. Then there are these childlike figures like Leonard Bernstein, who are always eager to find a new. Then there are which could be also Leonard Bernstein, the people who are moderator, they communicators. They want to communicate with the audience. They want to communicate with the orchestra. And then there are people who are more like a king to a queen who performs as it just with their kind of Ausstrahlung. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Expression.
Express. And with their aura in a way. So there are many different or people like priests who are very much they want to do exactly as it is written, and there are people like knights, like fighters who fight for the music, who fight that for their ideas, and there are many ways to approach one goal to make a good performance.
This is so interesting how you explain that. You know, these types of conductors.
This is just by watching the different types. There are more types, but this is just an example of type.
Yeah. A young conductor asked me today which 3 conductors would I like to see in a concert. And now I'm thinking, after you've explained this, I would like to see all these types of conductors in concert because it sounds wonderful. So which type of conductor are you?
It's in a way that the secret is that all these archetypes I try to figure out, maybe 10 or something, or 7 of maybe 100. But is everybody conductor has all of them inside, but in a different, because you cannot be a conductor if you don't fight for your ideas. You cannot be conductor if you are not a child who always wants to innocently develop new ideas and to how do you say, just to childlike behavior. And if you don't want to communicate, it's also not possible. And if you don't want to make research about the pieces, also this is not, but the percentage of the mix is that. And I can tell you one thing. I started, because I was a cellist first, I started life as a conductor because I wanted to communicate more with the audience. I I I was very unhappy with concerts, going out, bowing, audience claps, playing, bowing, and going away. This was very frustrating for me. So I was, and I started conducting to make concerts and speak in between. And I loved especially concerts when there are not 2 symphonies, but maybe 10 small pieces. So I could speak more in between. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
More often. So that was how I started. Yeah.
But that I like, because I think sometimes when musicians also speak and they tell what they are playing and why they are playing it, and maybe why they chose this piece, I like that very much, because I think that makes you listen also differently. No?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and sometimes it's not only about the piece or why you do the piece, but sometimes it is, I have the feeling, because I grew up also in a music family. So we had now, it's changing, because some are newly born, some die, but we said like 20 musicians in the family. So it was really a big music family in Vienna. And so the music life it was very normal for me to grow up in this. But for me, it was not enough to be the bubble on stage and the bubble in the audience. I wanted to mix. And for me, the perfect concert is when there is no difference, when sometimes you get the level in a concert, an energetic level, where, and how can I actually, that it is not important if you are conducting or part of an orchestra or being in the audience, then it was a successful concert, in my opinion. Then if there is a connection in the whole concert hall, and not and
wonderful that you say that. Yeah.
So that is and if that happens, I had this as a cellist in the concert, I had this as a cellist alone on stage, I had this as a conductor, and also I had it being in the audience. And that's why I know it from all sides, and it can happen from all sides.
I think this is great. I think this is what I have actually been talking about a lot to musicians also, and this is this way of communicating. And I do agree with you. I think it brings a connection, definitely.
Yeah.
That
is what I seek. I seek this. I never seek a perfect performance or a kind of a brilliant or a. I mean, this is part of we want to become as good as possible always, and but this is no aim, because that is no real aim in music. For me, is to find these special moments when suddenly this is, and I don't know when it happens. I just realize when it happens. And that was in concerts where especially an aria like Pamina's aria in the Magic Flute, where she thinks everything is over. When that is in the right tempo and with the singer, and this is a giving and taking and nobody pressing with any power, and the orchestra, and sometimes it makes click and you think, wow. And then suddenly the whole concert hall, and I have the feeling then everybody is elevated, and then it's wow. And maybe in the next day, the same aria with the same singer, it doesn't happen. So it is, but for these moments I live, or in a Mahler symphony, to have special in the fourth of Mahler, to have in the slow movement something that you think there is a kind of eternity where the time stands still. And then if that happens in concert, that's it. And then you think, wow, that made my year or my week or my life, maybe. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing this with me, because this sounds so great. I mean, for you to be able to experience that. And I think the audience, of course, would sense that too, like you say, that elevated feeling.
And to just to continue with that, and what the new thing in a way in the last years in my life as a conductor is that this is very nice, but it's not anymore an aim for me to reach that and to go on till I die. But now I want to make others masters. And in a way, so I don't want to live as a master, but as a master maker. And that came in the pandemic, where I had suddenly had the idea of the 3 M's: music, master, maker. And I'm still trying to develop this kind of course. I want to where maybe an online course or something, that because it gives much more joy to help others, because I would not say to create. I cannot make a master. I just can help that it's to give some direction and to help developing, but that gives much more joy at the end than to follow only the ideas of a so-called career.
But that's very, I mean, very thoughtful that you do that, because I think just the information that you shared here with me is so valuable. And I could think that, like you say, even young conductors should hear this, and have that in their thought process.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. That's why it's good to come to the masterclass. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because actually, that Giuseppe was the one who created this Sasso festival, and he was the second of my students who made his diploma. And to finish with that. So I'm very proud of him, because he's not a student anymore, and he's not. I mean, we all keep students, as I said, but he's a real master already, and that is great to see that, and makes me proud in a way, and in the same time, I have the feeling I didn't do anything, or why should I be proud because it's just him?
Oh,
Yeah?
okay.
I mean, but this is, and this
No,
is, yeah.
I do think the teachers, I talk a lot about this as well, that teachers are such an important part of the artist career, because I think that is where the inspiration comes from, and the motivation, and also leading into a specific path, you know. And I think it's very important that teachers be acknowledged for that, for what they do. So I think you can get the credit for that.
Yep.
You can
Maybe, yeah, but
can be proud.
it's better not, yeah, to think about, because it's the I'm really happy when I see the kids flying and not being dependent on me to ask everything, so because you have to make your own experience, you have to make your own mistakes, your own wrong decisions, or maybe not wrong, sometimes it's not right or wrong, it's just you have to go away, maybe too much exhausting your whole being in during creating an atmosphere, and you think, okay, it was overdoing, I wanted it too much, yeah, and
Yeah.
this could be even a, yeah, and but that is trying, you have to make your own experience.
Yeah, I think that's the way, I mean, the right way of teaching is let everybody be there as a guide, but let them go through the process themselves.
We had it already 2 years ago, and it was last year it couldn't take place because of Corona. It was like a dream, because you didn't have the feeling that you work, because there was wonderful music, then wonderful food, then wonderful swimming in between, then again wonderful music,
Okay.
and nice talking during breakfast or in the evenings. So it was a kind of creative never-ending workshop without having the feeling that it's a workshop. It was just a like a idea growing plant. Some yeah, the collective being of the collectiveness of singers and conductors and co-repetitors and everybody and teachers. There was a living organism, not individuals anymore. It was like a tree which is growing and have their branches and the leaves and the fruits and blooming, and so this is this was a very special atmosphere, and this, yeah,
I think,
but it's hard to explain. It's
yeah, no, but I think now, after this year of the pandemic, how wonderful will it be that people come together like this, you know, and in that atmosphere and close to the sea. I mean, you cannot wish for anything better than that.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. But Christian, I have to ask you this now, just on a lighter note. Do you have a concert ritual? Do you do something specifically before or on the day of the concert? of a concert
Um,
before you conduct?
I mean, in a way, it is when I can, when I'm not too much in the exhausted thing, I try related to the things I said before to try to meditate, try to come into myself, to be more myself and not to be so much outward. Because that happens very often, especially when you are the conductor. Everybody wants every time, every minute, anybody wants something. Where should the piano stand in the concert? What should we do? Is this? What should we tell to this? So there, and sometimes you have to just to come to yourself and inside of yourself. Otherwise, you cannot give because you're too much burned out.
Oh yeah,
already.
yeah.
Yeah, and this is, I try more and more as I grow in age and experience to be more and more inside myself and more to keep there even during the concert.
Yeah, that makes sense, because like you say, you have to give on that moment when you stand in front of the orchestra.
Yeah, and that is a kind of, in a way, I see it. It's a new challenge, which I do more and more, and maybe we learned it in the pandemic, in this time out, that because when you conduct, it is you are acting like a maybe fitness trainer. You act like a child who jumps until it falls down and to sleep. It is as somebody who is at a rock concert who is jumping until the star is gone. So this is, and if you're completely wet from sweating and everything, and you give, and in that, to reduce that a little bit, because but you cannot just stand like this and do nothing. You have to act like crazy, and if you have a heart, you never can avoid that. But at the same time, to be more and more yourself, that is the new goal in my life, and as long as I'm on stage. I mean, more and more I want the kids come on stage, but I will be on stage for the next 20 years or 30 years. I don't know, but only when I can reach that, because that gives even more joy than just jumping around, because it's a great fun of jumping around, but you get tired doing that for more than 20 years.
But this is very interesting, because I've asked many conductors also if they think after this pandemic, if music will change, if we will hear different sounds, in the sense, because musicians have been also going through processes and thinking and experiencing things, and I wonder if the way things are done now will be different, because I think when playing also probably it comes from within, and singing and so on, if it will be done in a different way.
Maybe, but I think it's in a way, of course, individually, but I think you are right. It's there is, I'm sure, it will never be like it was before. And many say this with a kind of tears in the eyes, but for me, I see it positive, because it will be maybe more reflected, maybe more not to just, when is the next flight? I have to go to airport. Chuck.
Yeah.
And I just can speak of myself. I have the feeling better 5 concerts in this great quality than 50 of just running around the world 5 times.
Yeah.
And this is yeah, I think this could be a new quality of not only life, but a new quality of consciousness even.
Yeah, because I thought of that when I and in the lockdown, when I photographed a violinist in his window, and I sometimes ask them to play for me in the window and I make a short video. And he actually told me that he had to jump in, and that was in the summer when there was this little time where there was still concerts, and he had to jump in for somebody, and it was the first time in months that he played, and he said he got so emotional when he started playing. And he's part of an orchestra, and he's played for many years, but suddenly that moment he got so emotional. And actually when he played for me in the window, I got goosebumps because of how he played. And I was then thinking that isn't it true that that musicians, you know, I think you sense from the way they play, or there must be something in the way people, different people play the violin in sort of that vibration or the emotion behind it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm overthinking it, but I'm just wondering if musicians will not play differently because they know there was this time where they couldn't, and it's always this thing, when something is taken away from you, you appreciate it in a different way, and you react in a different way, you know.
Yeah, but I think it will be more unconsciously than consciously.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Yeah. So maybe we will one day, or maybe in generations to come, musicians will hear the difference, or with recordings, or with, you know, things like that, that I don't know. It's, yeah, you are the ones with the knowledge and the good ears for hearing.
I don't know. But I always was fascinating about the stories of the not how do you say, not be like the I think that a song of Paul McCartney, Band on the Run, yeah, this in a way, this always be from one concert to the other, yeah, and every musician knows that, and it's also time is money, and if you have a tour and there are 2 days of no concert between 2 concerts, it's a lot of money for somebody, to pay the hotels, and there is no concert. And but I was always from even when I studied, fascinated about the stories, especially in the Eastern world. I knew this. There is this story of I forgot the name, but it was a Indian musician, hundreds, I don't know, 500 years ago or even long, but it's an old story, and he was very famous, and the king wanted to hear him, and he said he doesn't play for a king, he only plays for God, and that was this kind of stories fascinated. And then the king came to his, because he didn't want to play in the palace. So he came as a beggar to listen to him when he played before the normal people on this, but as a prayer for God, and everybody could listen, but not in a palace and not for money. Always these ideas fascinated me very much, because this showed other dimensions in the music world, and in the music business, because sometimes we are in the music business, and I think the business will never be as it was, because you ever say, be careful, maybe you saw 2 years ago, we will say, or 5 years ago, everything can happen. Don't be so proud about your business. Be proud of what you can reach in music, inside, and inside of the audience.
Yeah, and I think this probably happened because I think from an audience point of view, you know, we have an appreciation for live concerts now, and I think for artists also, the realization how important the audience also is, because this is, I've heard many times that artists say that this wonderful energy between the artist and the audience, you know, and that was what they missed so much. Yeah.
Life is life.
Yeah. Christian,
I see on the thing that it became dark outside.
Okay.
I hope it's not too dark. Yeah.
I can still see you.
Not that good.
Yeah. Christian, this was so wonderful to talk to you, and this was really such great information that you gave, and such wonderful insights that you gave. It was such a privilege to talk to you, and I hope that, you know, at the Sasso festival, that people will be able to experience all this knowledge and that you are, you know, going to give, and yeah, it sounds wonderful.
Thanks. Yeah.
And please tell your wife the paintings at the back is so beautiful. It's so calming. Yeah.
I will tell you. Yeah.
Yeah. It was the best backdrop to choose.
Thanks. Yeah. She will be happy. Yeah.
Okay. Christian, have a lovely evening, and I hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye-bye.